Hey, 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 everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, Flowering into 5D. I have my real life friend, Ruth, with me here. So I'll just tell you a little bit about her before we get started. So, Ruth Li is a compassionate and intuitive coach helping spiritually centered women connect with self love, clarity, and alignment. With over a decade of experience in mindfulness and personal development, she creates a kind and empowering space for clients to uncover their unique gifts, transform old patterns, and embody their authentic path. Her qualifications include breakthrough coaching, mindfulness based stress reduction, or MBSR course, and authentic leadership and facilitation training, along with her certification as a yoga instructor. She has also attended several 10-day Vipassana meditation retreats, including her first one in India. Through her one-to-one coaching program, Awakened Path, Ruth supports women to cultivate sustainable practices, trust their intuition, and take inspired action toward a soul-led life and career. As an anti-hustling advocate, Ruth understands that each person's definition of success is unique and supports women in creating harmonious, fulfilling lives they love. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing well. It's so lovely to see you and to be here.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. I think you're wonderful. I know that's like maybe a little corny to start, like you're so great. But, from honestly from the first time we hung out, it was just the way that you are as a person and just so kind, and the space that you hold for people is so unique. It's so like not once in a lifetime, but it's very rare to meet someone like you. And I just want to say thank
Mhm.
you for being you.
Mm. I'm letting that soak in. It's like hugging my heart with warmth. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So like I'm not I'm kind of doing like not my best. Well, I'm doing my best, but I'm not able to convey exactly how you hold space for people like the how do I'm like tripping over my words here. I just the way that you're able to hold space for people and convey this sense of like inner peace and stillness, I'm just curious, like how do you personally connect with this inner peace and stillness, and what practices have been most supportive for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I so honor your authenticity from the moment that we met and just expressing, oh, I'm tripping over my words. It really gives me that sense of like, oh, I can relax. I'm safe here to be myself. So thank you. Yeah, so how do I connect with my inner peace and stillness? It's really allowing myself to show up moment by moment and embrace whatever is here now. And that includes my thoughts, my feelings, how people are acting, the actions that I'm taking to really create this space of safety within myself, to know that however I'm feeling, whatever I'm thinking, however I'm choosing to act is welcome and that there's space for that. And within that safety that I hold for myself, people will naturally be a part of that as an extension because everything that is happening within this body and experience is simply a reflection of what's happening outside. So the more that I can love and accept myself exactly as I am right here and now, the more that people feel that and that I can extend that to others and be with them and allow who they are to shine through. And some of the tools are mindfulness, whether it's connecting with the breath, feeling the body. I really love internal family systems, which is getting to know the certain parts of ourself, whether it be sadness, joy, jealousy, anger, and meeting them with curiosity And each time I do, I recognize that they're here to take care of me and protect me and support me. So they're really on my team. And once I started to recognize that all of these emotions and parts are really loving me, my relationship with myself changed. And it was sort of this, oh, we're all on the same team together. The strategies that sadness might use might be different than what I want, and that's okay. And just having a conversation like a family or like a community.
I love that. I love that. And yeah, that's powerful. That reminder that, we are all on the same team. Like this is me just try in various facets, just trying to protect myself. And that reminds me, I can't remember the book exactly. It's called, I think, The Nature of the Human Soul. Um,
Mm.
I'll leave the name in the description if anybody's interested. But basically, it talks about one of the practices that you can use is called welcoming home the weary soldier. And it's like
Mm.
basically kind of, that coping mechanism that protected you and got you through that time. Once you're able to recognize that it's just that, you welcome it home and say, thank you so much for all the help that you gave me, and I got through all of this, but now it's time for you to rest. Like I got this now, and it's
Yeah,
such powerful stuff, I think.
absolutely.
So speaking about self-love, like what is your personal journey like looked like with self-love, and um how has this acceptance like transformed your life and your work really?
Yeah. I was never really taught, many of us are not taught to love ourselves. And for me, I grew up watching these romantic Hollywood movies where the focal point of seemingly one's life is to have a romantic partner, to feel loved, to feel validated, and for life to be this perfect fairy tale. And so that was my story for so long of chasing love, of wanting to be validated by everyone except for myself. And when I got diagnosed with Lyme, that was really the turning point of my healing journey, of really going inside and looking at the emotional terrain of what was happening. And the more that I turned inside, the more that I saw these beliefs of I'm not good enough, very subconscious, that I have to keep achieving to prove my worth and value. And also these sort of places where I was playing small in my life, in my business, in my finances. And I knew that the healing route was about love and compassion instead of trying to fix myself and like make myself be a certain way. It was really creating this space to love all parts of me, love myself exactly where I am in my healing journey. And the more that I did it, the more that I felt my nervous system be at ease. I felt lightness. I felt joy again. I felt like I was really taking care of myself. And my symptoms naturally resolved itself. And I felt, yeah, just more like the things that I was looking for outside of myself, I was able to give myself. And therefore, I just felt whole and complete just as I am. And the way that it's shown up in my business is that I get to be the best version of myself and embody just that support system because it can take a lot of courage to build your own business, to be an entrepreneur. It takes a lot of courage to face uncertainty, to put yourself out there to be seen, to market yourself, to try new things. And so self-love is really that healing self to, yeah, to make me feel safe, make me feel seen, and allow me to expand in ways that are outside of my comfort zone and also exciting, like what I want to be doing in my life. So it really has been the foundation for my growth in my business and also my alignment to do it in a way that feels authentic and true for me, how I love to share, how I love to show up, honoring my energy levels.
Mhm. And I think that that's something, really missing in this world. You mentioned, or I mentioned in your bio, that you're an anti-hustling advocate. And I really, I feel that 100% with you. I mean, I know you personally, but even just discussing with you right now, like it's just, you can feel that anti-hustle. And I mean, what do you think of, I mean, obviously you're anti-hustle, so like what's your stance on the state of like the hustle culture? I mean, I'm not in Canada right now. Is it still as big a problem as it was? Is it still like more important than everything? Because that's kind of how it kind of came for me, anyways. It came across when I was there that you don't not work hard 24/7, or you're always working on something, or even your hobby has to be an income generating hobby. And I'm just curious, like what's the state over there? And yeah, share your thoughts with me. I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, absolutely. I really see a difference as I travel. And we met, for those listeners and viewers, in Cambodia. And there's certainly a different energy to Cambodia. And also, I've been to India, as you shared in the intro, and the way of life in India and Cambodia can be seen as slower.
Mm,
And there is this, especially in India, what I found was this sort of acceptance and celebration of people who are on a spiritual path, or who are become monks and they're supported by community. And it's not seen so much here. There's not a lot of monks and nuns that are walking around with their bowls accepting donations and food here. And I think COVID times really changed things for people being home, and also that uncertainty and working from home. A lot of people had the maybe idea or opportunity, maybe not a lot, but some people, to start their own businesses, to do a side business or a side hustle. So I think that the times are changing, and with the access to the internet and people doing all of these different things, that there's more of the flexibility from the traditional 9 to 5. I think what is interesting is to really be aware of one's intention, of why one is doing whatever it is that they're doing. And what I found within me for most of my life, the reason why I was working or doing whatever was through fear, was like I need, or a sense of like I need, or I need to be making a lot of money so I can support myself, so I can survive. I need people to think that I'm successful, that I'm good enough. And that energy is so much more different than the energy of love or of service, whereas, or of joy, of working because you really love what you're doing, or you really recognize that you have this amazing gift that you want to share with others. or you just love people. And so you want to serve them and uplift them. Those two energies are completely different. And the more that I embody that energy of love and servitude, the more that I can allow things to naturally flow, I can allow people, the right people to come into my world, the right opportunities, the right experiences that are leading me down the path that I want to go because I really feel that life is always supporting us in whatever it is that we're creating and believing. And so I really choose to be in this place of love.
Hmm. I love that. And you know what? You're absolutely right. While you were talking, I'm like, of of course you're not like seeing that like people in the rat race going because you're not on that frequency. And I'm not saying it like a rude thing, like, oh, you're not on the frequency. I don't mean it like that. And I don't mean it talking down to the people who are in that. But it's like attention flows where energy goes. Like you're not there. So it's like not visible as much. I would think like yeah, it's so funny. I had that like realization. Of course, it's different because you're not like mentally there, you know?
Yeah, and I can share a little bit about my past career where I
Yeah.
was in corporate and accounting, and I really felt that that hustle mentality. I was working 50, 60, 70 hours a week, and it was really being in that grind and just like trying to get through the day. And it really just drained my spirit. And so I really feel for people who are in that frequency because it it really is, I believe, out of alignment with our true nature of being at ease and being connected to all things and being
Mhm.
supported by life. And that the communities of people who feel more uplifting and who are more in doing what they love are available. And the moment that I shifted into that, I was welcomed into new communities, people doing amazing things like yourself. I love meeting other entrepreneurs who are living this bold, courageous life and sharing their gifts. And I'm so grateful that I get to be surrounded by that because I'm choosing to be that myself.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I mean, it's difficult because there's a lot of people who are struggling, but it's at the same time you make a choice every single day how you're going to show up. You know, I was reading a book with my daughter on the way home from Phnom Penh today, and you know, I won't bore everyone with the details, but basically, uh, a a child rabbit had made this. Okay, apparently I'm going to tell the details. This
I
child
love your
rabbit had.
stories.
Let's just go here. The child rabbit had made a spacecraft, like a little spaceship. And her little brother went to play with it and he broke it. And she was like, I'm not going to enter this space contest and dee 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 dee. And in the book, the dad was like, well, you have a choice. Like, you know, you can not enter, or you could be more like the astronauts that you're reading about and try again. And she like reflected on that. She's like, I have a choice on how I can show up. And I was like, I love this kids book that it's like, you know, telling kids you literally have a choice on like how you look at the world day in and day out. And some people don't want to hear that. They love to be in that suffering. And I mean, like, I get it. I've been there recently, but you have to choose.
Mm. What a powerful message. And I love that it's in a children's book starting that young. Mm.
I was
Yeah.
delighted. I was like, the book is
Yeah.
called How Big Is Your Brave? I was like, ooh, ooh. Yeah, I was like, nice one. I like this.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So just switching gears for a moment, like even though, we're choosing to be and, take the higher road, so to speak, and be, vibrating on a higher frequency when possible. Um, Times are a little uncertain. I feel like this is kind of the message, the overall message. It's like in these uncertain times, I don't pay attention to the news or anything like that. But even like the spiritual videos I watch on YouTube, there's a lot of like things are a little uncertain right now. We don't really know what the future looks like. So I'm just curious, like, how are you navigating these times of uncertainty, and like what spiritual perspectives help you to open to new possibilities?
That's such a great question. Yeah, there's a lot happening in the world, and I feel like with the access of information and the news that we get more information on what's happening across the world than we ever did before, what's happening with the weather. And so there can be this heightened sense of uncertainty and unpredictability and change. Whereas if we were just in our little bubble, no TV, no radio, no internet, there's a sense of, the certainty bubble.
Hmm.
And and what I love about uncertainty is that even though there can be things that are unwanted happening, there's also the flip side of the coin, which is all things are possible in the state of unknown. And through meditation and doing several Vipassana sits, the one of the core themes of that meditation is impermanence,
Hmm.
that everything is changing moment to moment. And within that, everything is also uncertain. The
Hmm.
next moment, we don't even know if we're going to be here. I don't know if my house is going to still be here in 5 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to be breathing. And so I think that it becomes this invitation to really be present with what is. And when we can be present with what is and just meet what needs to be done in this moment, we collapse that sort of like burden of like, oh, what am I going to do next week? Or how am I going to make this work a year from now or 10 years from now? Back into this moment where this is the only thing that is certain. And the beautiful thing about that is that being present allows us to really live life as it's happening, as it's meant to. And within this moment, we also can come to know that we have everything we need to navigate uncertainty, to navigate challenges. And so I think yeah, uncertainty allows us to evolve as humans and as spiritual beings, to know that we are strong, we are resilient. Excuse me. We can choose to show up with love, even though things are not as we would like them to. And I think that that's really sort of like the heroine's or hero's journey is how do we boldly and bravely move in the world in a way that is true to who we are and the things that we really value, and like being forged in the fire of challenges to continue to rise above that. So I don't know any greater like adventure than the human experience, truly.
So true. I mean, who knows 100%, but I have read from many different books that this is the school of the universe. People come here to see what happens, have the experiences, and learn. And I definitely feel that.
Me too.
And I love being in school. I'm like, hey, let's learn something today. It's I feel like a love of learning is so important, a lifelong love of learning. I mean, as you know, with my play group, that is the goal, um,
Mhm.
for my place, and as a parent as well, and even just in general, with everyone I meet, it's learning's awesome. We should never
Mm.
stop.
No. Yeah. And every time I talk to you, I always admire the lessons that you're moving through and the gems of learning that are coming through. I'm always inspired by your perspective with how you meet challenges because life is all about challenges and things that go whatever way they go, and how we meet them really makes all the difference.
To be honest with you, I think it has something to do with you, because yeah, like when I talk to you, I'm like, you know what? Like, the way that she frames things is so inspirational. How can I frame it? And it's so awesome just to know you. Be like, I'm sorry to be like gushing, like, oh, Ruth, you're so great. But like, really though, I you're such a rare person to come across, I feel like, and just knowing you is I'm so grateful for it. I had a bit of a rough day, as I mentioned before we started, and I was like, well, maybe I should maybe cancel. Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of, and I'm like, no, like I should not cancel, because I'm trusting that the divine is just weaving its way in and is like, you know what? You need to talk to Ruth tonight, and there's going to be some gems. And of course, there has been. Really, like, I'm so glad I didn't, because not only is it so easy to talk to you, and you're wonderful, but I feel um, inspired, and I feel just uplifted. So thank you for that.
Mm. You're so welcome. I love that. And I love that you chose to show up today, even though you weren't feeling a certain way. And you're getting all of these beautiful insights and feeling uplifted.
It's one of those things. It's like you can choose, again, going back to the choice, you can choose to lean in and say, like, you know what, maybe I should just do it and see how it goes. But I feel like there's like such a fine balance, right? Like, sometimes you lean it, you were like, well, I should lean in even though I don't feel like it. But then there's the other side where it's like, okay, I should not lean in, and I will not lean in, and I'm going to take this time and like, respect that this is not the time for me. And I guess I guess what I'm getting at, and this is such a like random, but like, how do you navigate that with yourself, where sometimes you kind of have to like give yourself the little push off the cliff, like just do it anyways, and then it works out well, versus, you know what, like, I need to respect this energy, and this energy is saying maybe you should stay at home, or whatever. I'd love to know how you navigate that.
Absolutely. That's such a great question because I've noticed that through my cycle, my energy levels really change, as well
Mm.
as the different emotions that are flowing through. And so each week is different in what I need and how I'm feeling and my energy levels. And one thing that I really have been committed to is, and Bashar, who is someone on the internet who I absolutely love, shares about following your excitement. And I
Mm.
really have committed to that way of life where it's like, what do I feel most excited to do in this moment? And really honoring that as a way of my higher self communicating to me what is my next step. And so the basis of that is life is giving me energy for where it wants me to move and taking away energy where it's like, oh no, like that direction is not for you. And another perspective that I love is back again to the impermanence, where choices in the when I step back in the big picture or I reflect back on my life, things seem so insignificant because life is always moving, things are always changing. And even though I make a decision in one route versus the other, I know at the end of the day that I have everything I need to show up the way that I want, to navigate that decision and that challenge, and that it's gonna pass. This too shall pass. And so I keep showing up with presence, moment to moment, to whatever is here now.
Mm, I love that. And it reminded me earlier, but it also reminds me now of in NLP they talk about like when you're helping somebody that you should trust that they have all the tools like available to them to get through it. They may not know how to access them, but that doesn't mean that they don't have them, and I think it's just going back to trusting in the divine and trusting yourself that we all have the tools to do whatever we want to do. It's just that we might need help accessing them, or learning, but it doesn't mean that you know we don't people aren't able to do things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think podcasts like this are so important to offer these tools and to have the conversation so that people are inspired to look within and to discover like the juiciness and the beauty that we each have available. And I find that these things are pointers to allow us to come home.
Mm, so important to come home.
Mhm.
So I'd love to just ask, so you mentioned getting Lyme disease as well. I'd love to know just about that, or anything else really. I'd love for you to share a challenge or wound that you've experienced and how you've been able to transform that into wisdom or strength.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can share the Lyme's journey. It was about 2 years ago that I had a spot on my left side. And for those of you who are listening, it's typically, we're taught that Lyme's comes from a tick bite.
Okay.
And I was farming at the time and out in nature, so that could be a real possibility. And I was also living in a community, and my dear friend, who's a naturopathic doctor, she offered me this different perspective, which is a German new medicine perspective. And I find it so fascinating. I could really talk about it for many hours. The gist of it is when symptoms like illnesses, diseases, cough and cold arise, it's actually the body is in a healing resolution.
Mm,
Whereas many people think the opposite when symptoms, cancers, disease arise, there's a problem. Oh, I'm stressed, and now this disease has manifested. And so I explored this perspective with Lyme. And I had a lot of joint symptoms, which through German New Medicine is a self-devaluation, a resolution of being
mm,
self-devaluated, which makes a lot of sense because that was sort of the beginning of, not the beginning of my business, but where I really committed to coaching, one-on-one work, and really like going all in. And naturally, for me, all of these imposter syndromes, I'm not good enough, I don't know what I'm doing, people aren't gonna think I'm worth my prices, came up for me. And it really was the gateway into the subconscious mind. What beliefs am I continually telling myself that are keeping me from attaining the goals that I truly desire? And from that, the self-compassion, the love, the awareness came in, and also rewiring my thoughts. Like, what is it that's really true that I can remind myself as a pointer so that I can expand into that I am worthy, exactly as I am. If I never made a dollar again, then I'm still deserving of being supported, of feeling love and joy, that I have gifts that are that people want. And yeah, so that has really allowed my business to align and for me to help more and more people because I truly saw my value and also I allowed the divine to come through.
Hmm. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. That's powerful stuff.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love what you said too about just letting the divine come through because I feel like that's so difficult for so many people, myself included. I mean, I certainly try, but sometimes, my ego has to come in and say, "Well, listen, no, it's not going to work." No, I don't think so, or oh, I thought it would work sooner. It's not working. Got to, shift gears and try to do something else and just allowing for that divine timing to come in and just trusting and just putting the brakes on, I think is so important.
Absolutely. What I've noticed is that through opening and surrendering to the divine, I don't need to make things happen. And so this huge weight is being lifted where it's like, I don't need to like do it, get it, have it. I can be someone who gets to experience it all happening because life is continually flowing. Things are always happening for us. And when we open ourselves to receiving that, we can see the abundance and the beauty that's always of and the opportunity that's always available to us. So it really is a mind shift away from everything.
Hmm. And I would just like to know, like, for anybody listening who's completely new to any of this spirituality, mindfulness, higher frequency, they're like, what's a frequency? What advice do you have somebody for like somebody who's just getting started? Like, where would you suggest they go with this? Because I mean, it's obviously you and me both. I'm not trying to say like, oh, we're tenured people, but I mean, we didn't just start yesterday. We've been, on this path for a long time. We've been working at it. So just curious, like, what's your advice to someone who's brand new to spirituality and way of your way of being who just from an outsider's perspective I would say is extremely easygoing and freeing and just divinely led if you will. What's your advice to that person?
Yeah, absolutely. I love this question. Ah, I would say what's coming through is to really celebrate where you are on your journey. If you're starting out, if you're new, and there's a lot of different directions you could go, maybe there's some doubt, confusion to really be grounded on this path that you're choosing and to know that everyone's path is unique, that your path may not look like the next person's path or the next person's path. And that's totally okay because you have everything you need to navigate and to discover who it is that you are. And what I've found within the 10 years of this spiritual journey that I've been on is that presence and acceptance are really the most powerful tools that I use to gain wisdom, to gain insight, to feel at peace, to feel at ease and everything else grows from there. So if you can be present with just this moment here and now, maybe connecting with your breath, maybe feeling your body, and just notice a sense of openness and ease that is available underneath all the noise, and that really is available to you at all times, regardless of what's happening.
Mm, love that. Thank you so much. Well, I feel like on
Yeah.
this note, how can people connect with you? How can people work with you? Like open mic? Let us have it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am on Instagram, and Samantha, will you post the link somewhere?
Yes. Yep. I will
Okay.
post it in the uh description and et cetera, et cetera. Yes, I definitely.
Okay. Thank you so much. So the best way, if you want continual inspiration, tips, and to learn more about my services, is through Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, and I am starting September 10th a evening meditation, which I'm really excited about calming your nervous system before sleep. And this is going to be meditation, reflection, and just like self-compassion and love. And I also work one-on-one with women through my 3-month program, Awaken Path. So all of that is available through Instagram, yeah, or
Awesome.
Facebook.
Yeah, I'll share it all. I'll share it all. So it
Thank
will be available to everyone.
you. Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, Ruth. Well, thank you so much again for your time, your presence, your experience, your just way of being. I mean, I can't stop talking about how great you are, but you're great.
Mm.
Yeah.
You're great too. I
Yeah.
really see each other as mirrors, and I'm so grateful that we met. Like halfway across the world, two Canadians meet at the perfect time.
With a mutual friend at that.
Yeah, with
That
a
was
mutual
that
friend.
was wild. I mean,
Shout out Brooke.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, thank you so much for everyone for listening and I'll talk to you on the next podcast. Thank you so much.